Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about this. Well, first, this came last Friday and shared by Arch, the great Arch. Anyway, I'm gonna read this, but before I go on, here's a trailer.
We are few. We are God's chosen knights. We are born of sin and crime. We are repentance personified. We are immortal. We are legend. We are God's wrath made manifest. And we know no fear.
Right, so, Henry Cavill has been attacked lately because the idiots of SJWs cannot accept the success of a white male anymore, and they need to make shit up. So, here is what the person said. This one is from a little rumor website or gossip website with no actual facts presented on them. Either way, Dumo, I don't know how to pronounce it, it's French. As you can see here, it comes from this. And on that regard, it's what you'll expect from a retarded morons. So, here is the image. I'm gonna read it verbatim, and I'm gonna comment based on a few lines. I recently got this message, and somebody was like, do you want to know what really went down? And I was like, sure. So let me just write out. It says, at the beginning of the show, Herny was good to work with. A lot of unusual demands that made people feel like he wasn't really a team player, but that's not unusual for being a star. Though in TV, it truly usually doesn't happen until the second season, but in season 2 and 3, something shifted, and he became really impossible for women to work with. Women most affected, which is always a big problem. But even worse here because the showrunner is a woman. Woman most affected. You would try to overrule her and try to get changes made last minute across the board without her knowledge. Here is the interesting bit. He was trying to fix The Witcher. The most famous one that I can point out to you is the death of Roach. Roach died. The idiots, the writers, wanted to make it as a funny scene. But Henry Cavill said, no, this cannot be a happy, funny scene. This needs to be sad. So he rewrote it. But this was done under the purview of the showrunners, Lauren Hisrich, I think that's her name, in which she authorized the rewrite. So what you get here mostly when you're dealing with shit and nonsense like this, you pick tiny little morsels of truth and you pad it out with an absolute shit show of fakeness. Think of it like those fake little jewels. It's painted with a gold coating, And underneath it is plastic or those fake metals or just die cast and things like that. That's exactly what this is. Right. So, where was I? Oh, right. Knowledge. One moment. Right. Which if you know anything about show running is completely fucked. The showrunner has to sign off on every minuscule detail down to the buttons on a costume. Female writers and directors were suddenly completely ignored on set, unable to do their jobs. Yeah, this is what we're dealing with here. Enfield's department head was complaining. He started making comments. It wasn't a sexual thing. He wasn't grabbing anyone or being lewd, but it was disrespectful and toxic all the same. Yeah, no. We all know Henry Cavill has been, he even came out quite publicly that he prefers to separate relationships with women or something thereabouts. I know he said something specific, but I can't remember exactly what, but it was more of a care or doing things to avoid being called, to avoid being me too'd, suffice to say. Anyway, continuing. He was deeply addicted to video games, and to the point where it was like working with any other addict. He was distracted, he was late, he was obsessive, and a lot of people think that the misogyny came from the gamer world. Video game bro language, it's not how you talk to co-workers, and he wouldn't stop someone on the show compare it to watching Get Brainwashed, but I cannot say that. Like this whole personality shifted, eventually his disrespect escalated. You're gonna see this paragraph here will end up being contradicted by the next paragraph. You're going to see a sudden shift of message. It's quite fascinating how these people operate. They're just lying sacks of shits. But, there's nothing wrong in being a gamer, and this person here is lying. Obviously, they are so fragile, so sensitive, that they cannot even comprehend or accept a tiny little criticism. Let's go. He would rewrite scenes without alerting other actors in the scene until it was time to shoot. He had decided that he didn't want any romantic scenes at all. No kissing, no shirtless scenes, etc. There you go. So if he was obsessive, distracted, always late, by playing video game, but still had time to rewrite a scene? That doesn't seem like it. When you rewrite something, you put a lot of time into it. It's not something you do because you're addicted to video games. When you're addicted to video games or addicted to something, you barely have time to even go to the bathroom, let alone do a rewrite. So, contradiction there. And even more so, no kissing, no shirtless scenes. Yeah. You know, we live in a goddamn fucking current year infested by SJWs. So, suddenly it's okay for a male to be shirtless, but not a woman to be shirtless or show boobies because of evil male gaze, but it's fine when there's a female gaze. Contradictions. But then again, SJWs wouldn't have any standards at all if they didn't have double standards. Right, continuing. He wanted complete control of storylines, but really had no idea of the limitations of TV, structured budgets, etc. Really? The guy, I'm willing to bet that Henry Cavill had way more experience dealing with TV and movies and budget than the idiot that came up with this nonsense, but He formed a weird alliance with one writer who was also a gamer who eventually got fired after multiple HR complaints were made. And after the writer left, Herny did anything he could to hold up production and cause problems. Eventually, top brass at Netflix was tired of him, costing them money with delays in HR investigations. HR, one of the worst, most useless departments on any company ever. Right. And the showrunner was asked to construct a potential exit for him, and so Netflix reached out to him personally, and he was given one final warning and violated that warning with an email he sent to the entire writing staff right after the meeting. That was it. What was written in that email? That's the thing with lies. You need to exert a lot of creative nonsense to come up with, and writing that email on lies, it's going to cost a lot for the idiot here, especially with already contradicting himself or herself, or they themselves, on this, in the second paragraph, with the third paragraph. But, interesting. But, we all know this is fake. It's bullshit. And more so, who would want to work with idiots like that? Anyway, the person who came up with this, it's already backtracking. Do not contact, do not stare, do not look, do not even breathe around this person. Because we all know how SJWs are, but here it is. What the idiot said. Legal disclaimer, I regret sharing a transcript with allegations. These allegations towards Henry Cavill have not been independently confirmed and should therefore not be considered to be reliable or true. I did not mean harm in sharing, nor did I intend for any slander to occur. After the backlash. I apologize for the upheaval this has caused, as I never intended for it to get this blown out of proportion. My apologies for sharing this alleged and unverified information once more. None of these rumors mentioned should be considered as true. This story did not originate from me, nor did I fabricate it in an attempt to hurt or slander. This is the source from which it was transcribed, which should not be considered verified information. And none of the content mentioned is independently verified. Interesting. Very interesting. Remember, do not talk, do not breathe, do not mention, do not even quote or even look at this person. You know that. It's fascinating because, look, we all know the showrunners actively disliked and mocked the source materials. We all know they came out attacking Bone the male, a gay black man, just so you know. He is now a white straight male with blue eyes, in the eyes of these people. And PC Gamer came out in defense of these showrunners because they love garbage that Netflix pumps out. They destroy it. And you can see here, I already covered this one in a couple of videos before. But anyway, I want to make it clear one tiny little writer. In here, you're going to see. Other writers currently working on The Witcher also responded to the mayor's comment on Twitter. Javier Grillo MacLeod said the rumors are false and that there was no hate of the source material at all. Yeah, I beg to differ, because what we see on Netflix, it's just pure dripping on hate. Matt Ambrosio responded more bluntly, calling them a whole mess of lies from an ex-writer of the show. Matt Ambrosio. Do you remember that name? Keep that name on your mind. Yeah, keep it. Right, so here is what he wrote. If there is... Sorry, I need to make this. If there's one thing I'm just gonna do, it's put all my queer trauma into every single thing I write. So basically, he rewrote a character who is elf, and to do a shit show. Do I actually bother to read this? Fine, let's read it. My favorite thing to do as a girl was flower picking with my mother. After she died, I kept one to remember her by. One day it started wilt. Francesca brings in the rose to life as sadness pulls in her. I held that flower. I don't know why exactly, but I began to feel warm inside and the flower bloomed again. I did that spell over and over for years until my father caught me. And that's when he tried to lead the village in a crusade against me. So wait, isn't your father supposed to be an elf? An elf are supposed to be into magic, but wait, why is it? Wait, isn't Francesca being rewritten here? And Fringilla, but he failed. No, but he failed. Isn't she supposed to be Indian or something? Francesca. Gage held him down while I slit his throat. The village built a statue in my honor. Wait, so a village went on a crusade to lead the village in a crusade against her, but then suddenly they stand up and applause? This reads like a goddamn fucking retarded bullshitting line that you read on Twitter or Facebook from idiots like these. Fuck. What the fuck? What the fuck? This is retarded nonsense. They're trying to ruin the guy's life because of retarded nonsense like this. SJWs, they are really retarded. They write crap. No wonder Henry Cavill left. No wonder he left the show because of this nonsense. Look at the rewrite. They rewrote the character. They race swapped up to the wazoo on Witcher show. Look at this. This is a good meme to reflect exactly all this episode. Right. All he does is play video games and demand changes to our Geralt script. He won't even do shirtless scenes anymore. Shirtless love scenes anymore. And there's a meme. So anyway, the thing about the Horus heresy is the difference of a Chad and a failure. Yeah, this is what we're dealing with here. This is the nonsense, the garbage that we are dealing with here. This is, well, it's as expected. It's what we expect with the morons behind it. And Witcher, the TV show, is a disaster, even despite all the attempts by Henry Cavill to save it. It's garbage. That show was being carried by him on his back. And we can see it. The only good bit of The Witcher was him. Everything else was a disaster. And even more so, he was pretty much a side character in that show. Show with his name on. Fuck. Well, anyway, on that goddamn fucking hell, have a great fucking night.